Long ago, in a quiet town nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there existed a secret. Hidden away behind a crumbling stone wall, overgrown with ivy, was a garden untouched by time. Its existence a forgotten whisper in the wind. Few dared to venture near it, and those who did emerged forever changed, their eyes filled with wonder and a haunting sadness. For the townsfolk believed the flowers remembered. One sunny afternoon, a curious boy named Elias skipped along the lane leading to the old stone wall. He'd heard the whispers about the garden, tales of its enchanting beauty and eerie mystery. His heart pounded with excitement as he approached the wall, its weathered stones seeming to hum with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Curiosity overwhelmed any fear, and he slipped through a crack in the stones, stepping into a world untouched by time. For him lay a garden in full bloom. Roses of every color imaginable spilled over manicured hedges. Lilies with petals like spun sugar swayed gently in the breeze. And ancient trees, heavy with ripe fruit, cast long shadows on the mossy ground. As Elias ventured deeper, the air grew thick with the scent of 1,000 blossoms, a sweet, intoxicating fragrance that seemed to tug at his very soul. Then he saw it, a rose bush laden with velvety crimson blooms. Drawn to its intoxicating beauty, Elias reached out to touch one of the petals, and in that instant, a jolt shot through him. It was as if the rose were alive, its essence seeping into his fingertips. And then the memories flooded in. He saw a woman with hair the color of sunset standing in the same spot where he now stood. Her laughter echoed around him, sweet and carefree as she plucked a rose from the bush and inhaled its fragrance. But the vision shifted. The carefree woman was gone, replaced by a burly soldier in gleaming armor, his face etched with worry as he looked back at the house behind him. With trembling hands, he, too, picked up a rose from the bush, its color matching the fiery determination in his eyes. And then Elias saw a small child taking her first steps in the garden, her laughter ringing out as she stumbled and fell, only to rise again with newfound determination. As quickly as they had come, the visions vanished, leaving Elias trembling and bewildered. Had he really touched the memories of this place? Was the garden truly alive with the echoes of the past? Overcome with a sudden urge to understand, he ran to the nearest house, his mind racing with questions. He burst through the door, startling an elderly woman who was knitting by the fire. "Please," he gasped, "who has lived here?" The old woman looked up, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "This house has seen many lives," she began, her voice like rustling leaves, but its walls hold more than bricks and mortar. This garden, she added, her gaze drifting to the window, it remembers. And so the old woman told Elias's stories of the people who had lived in the house, each tale as captivating as the last. There was the young woman who had laughed and danced in the garden, her spirit as free as the birds in the sky. The soldier who had found solace in the roses, his courage blooming with each passing day. And the little girl who had taken her first steps in the garden, her joy echoing through the years. But as the stories unfolded, Elias felt a deep sadness envelop him, for he realized that these were not just stories. They were the memories of real people, their joys and sorrows intertwined with the very fabric of the garden. With a newfound sense of purpose, Elias returned to the garden, each step taking him deeper into its enchanting embrace. He spent his days exploring its hidden paths and listening to the whispers of the wind rustling through the leaves. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, he sat beneath a tree and closed his eyes, allowing the memories to wash over him. He heard the echoes of laughter, the murmur of secrets shared, and the gentle caress of love. Years turned into decades, and Elias grew from a curious boy into a kind and compassionate young man. The garden had become his sanctuary, its beauty and mystery a constant source of wonder. When the townsfolk heard of Elias's gift, they began to seek him out, hoping to find solace in the whispering trees and fragrant roses. One day, a weary traveler stumbled upon the garden, her eyes downcast, her shoulders slumped under the weight of a heavy heart. Elias, sensing her sorrow, led her to a blooming almond tree. "Touch its bark," he whispered, "and remember." The woman hesitated, then placed her hand on the rough bark. And in that moment, her face lit up with joy as she saw her late husband smiling back at her, his eyes filled with love and warmth. She had never felt so connected to him since his passing. Another day, a young boy with tearful eyes wandered into the garden. His parents had been too busy to comfort him, and he missed his mother's warm embrace. Elias led him to a patch of daisies, their white petals glowing in the sunlight. "Pick a daisy," he said softly, "and feel the love within." The boy carefully plucked a flower, its delicate stem brushing against his fingers. As he closed his eyes, he could feel his mother's love surrounding him, her gentle touch as soothing as the softest lullaby. As the seasons changed and the years rolled by, the garden continued to heal broken hearts and mend shattered spirits. People came from far and wide to experience its magic, and Elias remained their guide, sharing its wonders with a gentle heart. One autumn afternoon, when the leaves blazed in hues of crimson and gold, Elias felt the first twinge of his mortal coil catching up to him. He knew his time was drawing near its end, and a sense of calm settled over him. He had lived a life filled with purpose, guided by the whispers of the garden. With newfound determination, he made his way to the center of the garden, where the ancient oak stood tall and proud. Here, surrounded by the memories of countless lives, he decided to leave his own story behind. He dug a small hole at the base of the oak, carefully placing a single seed within. It was a seed from a fruit tree, one that symbolized the joy and abundance he had found in the garden. With the seed planted, Elias stood back, his heart swelling with emotion. He had given the garden a piece of himself, and in doing so, ensured that his memory would bloom alongside the flowers he loved so dearly. As the final winter arrived, Elias, now an old man, felt his strength fading. But his spirit soared, for he knew that the garden would live on, carrying his laughter and kindness in its heart. On a crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the bare branches, Elias breathed his last breath, his soul joining the whispers of the wind as it rustled through the leaves. The townsfolk gathered at the foot of the old oak, their faces etched with sorrow, yet their eyes shining with gratitude for the gift Elias had shared with them. They buried him beneath the oak, his coffin cushioned with the petals of his beloved roses. As the earth covered the grave, a single teardrop escaped an eye, reflecting the image of the setting sun. And as it touched the ground, a tiny shoot emerged, reaching towards the light. In the years that followed, the townsfolk continued to visit the garden, tending to it with love and reverence. They believed that Elias's soul resided within the whispering trees and fragrant flowers, watching over them with the same kindness he had shown in life. And so the garden remained a sanctuary of healing and remembrance, a testament to the enduring power of love and the everlasting bond between humanity and nature. For within its depths, no story was ever forgotten, and the garden kept remembering, keeping the memories of everyone who had ever stepped into its magical embrace.